What's the meaning of life? Is it in the Bible? Is it about thriving or survival? Should I eat idle or hunt with a rifle? Which one? Is life a cycle or a spiral? Should I believe in Metatron or Archangel Michael? Shiva the backfat leader of Jesus and his disciples. Is deciphering the meaning even vital? Is there an afterlife or is there final? Is it about charity in the face of calamity? Is my purpose to find a wife and start a family?
Yes, family, one quad. It's Jedi for Jedionline, trying out a new little format, testing out some new software and that. So I decided that I was gonna go and break down a couple things. Yeah, I'm gonna call this segment This Week, even though it's probably been slightly a bit longer than a week. I'm gonna cover things that have popped up to my attention this week. News articles, things of the community, personal stuff, things I've seen. It's just a real amalgamation. You know, I like to do my thing. Eclectic and that. Big up to everyone that's subscribing. If you're not subscribing, please do so now. Click like, click the little bell. Sorry, pardon me. Click the little bell and to get the notifications for when I post up new videos, and I'm gonna try and keep putting out new content, and you know, just take it from there. Anyway, today, as you can see, first on the agenda I want to chat about. Where's my pen? I've got a little pen and that. I've got a little pen and a notepad and all sorts. Yeah. So yeah, first on the agenda, I want to talk about this quote-unquote royal wedding. You know what I mean? This fucking royal wedding that had everyone busting nuts. Like, busting hella nuts. Oh, the royal wedding. Oh, my God. Like, you know, Meghan Markle. Like, you know, she's just like, you know, and she's a black woman. She's black. He's white. She's black. White. Bro, this black and white programming that they're doing on everyone is a next level. They're pushing this interracial relationships. And I think it's just to stir up more and more racial tensions and actually polarize people even more so that they can continue to control us and use race as the number one defining, sorry, let's mess around with my hair, the number one defining fucking weapon against us, man, to keep us divided and conquered. And they're doing a good job. Still, it's my belief anyway, it's my personal belief, and if you don't agree, suck your mum. I'm jokes. Alright, cool. So let me get into what I saw. First of all, you got a man like Harry. Harry, I believe his last name is Windsor. Get me? And I've seen Harry doing this a few times, yeah? I hope you lot can see my the cursor. But I've seen Harry doing this a few times. And on this it says something about his body language shows stress. I disagree. See this right now, what he's doing for this picture opportunity? What happens is when they take pictures, the photographer, the royal photographer that has been decreed the one to take the photos, will actually obviously consult with them in terms of what images are released. So if you think that you've caught a picture of Prince Harry, like kind of fixing up his shirt or getting himself ready now, he's communicating with man. One, I don't know what that bracelet is, but that would be probably interesting to look into. Let me see. I can't look into that. But two, this hand in here, I believe it to be the symbol of the hidden hand, yeah? And it looks like a pretty run-of-the-mill kind of thing. You know, it's nothing. I'm reading too much into it, you might be thinking. Let me show you about the hidden hand for those of you that don't know about that shit, man. Let me show you, man. Boom. Move this over here. So. Why are you not moving, motherfucker? Little motherfucker. Alright, cool. I'll show you this hidden hand, yeah? Check this out. So, let's go to Harry. This is Harry, yeah? Yeah, couple digits hidden. This is the boss level. I feel like maybe the more hand that you hide, the more it means, yeah? You got motherfuckers like Napoleon and shit, and Stalin bossing this move. Or you think it was just like a cute little pose? Okay, let's get into it a little bit more, man. Let's get into it a little bit more, man. The hidden hand. What's this? It's a Freemasonical symbol. Yeah. You got the Beatles. You know what? You know the Beatles are on stuff. You get me? The fake Paul McCartney. The real Paul McCartney is dead. This is one of them theories that you need to go and research for yourself. Go and look up the real Paul McCartney versus, or look up Paul is dead. Paul is dead. You get me? But anyway, check these hands. You know all they did? They did loads of Masonic hand signs, devil signs. They were filled with symbology, esoteric symbology all over their artwork and their pictures. You know, from Waterloo Road to Yellow Submarine. You know, so even their videos were highly symbolic. They dabbled in the occult. Paul McCartney and John Lennon are on record for dabbling in the occult, and they also helped to usher in the age of Eastern mysticism with things like yoga, transcendental meditation that they brought to the Americas, or to basically to popular culture, quote unquote. Yeah. Who else we got here? Yeah, everyone's doing it. Got Obama there. Obama could have been doing anything. That's Obama. We got some more, man. We got some more. I'm gonna give you some more, man. Ooh. Look who we got here. Jimmy fucking Savile. Cunt. Jimmy the cunt Savile. Yeah? And I don't know who this dude is, but I'm sure he's a famous geezer. Yeah? Who else we got doing this hand symbol? An ex-royal family of some sort. Someone tell me who this is. I'm sure I know who that guy is. All kinds of nobility, rock stars doing it in their own little way, you know. And I don't know who this is in the middle. That's deep. Yeah, man's going on like he's got his hand on his heart, but you know what's going on. Yeah, here we got the Freemasons, sign of the Master of the Second Veil. Yeah, it's the sign of the Master of the Second Veil according to this diagram of Freemasonry. I've looked at these diagrams of their symbols and they seem to be pretty accurate. So, you know, here's Abraham Lincoln pictured doing the same fucking pose. Just gonna go through a few more and see if I can find anyone else. This is Albert Pike, I believe, isn't it? I believe this is Albert Pike, renowned 33-degree Mason who writ Morals and Dogma. Another book. I'm going to cover that on Readers are Leaders. I'm going to cover that book still. Morals and Dogma, a book about Freemasonry, and in that book he declares that the god of the Freemasons is basically Lucifer or Jabulon. Yeah. So I'm just showing. This is what our prince is doing anyway in his pictures. I'm just gonna look for one more of significance. I don't know who these motherfuckers are. I don't know who they are. I should actually click on it and see if it tells me who they are. The members of this degree are denominated companions and are entitled to a full explanation of the mysteries of the order, whereas in the former degrees they are recognized by the common familiar appellation of brothers and kept in a state of profound ignorance of the sublime secret which is disclosed in this chapter. This accords with the custom of Pythagoras, who thus distinguished his pupils. After a probation of 5 years, as stated, therefore, they were admitted into the presence of the preceptor, called his companions, and permitted to converse with him freely. Previous to the expiration of that term, he delivered his instructions to them from behind the screen. So, it is during this degree that the initiates learn the sacred name of God. Pass on to the word. Jabulon. No, look what we have here. Yeah, yeah. Bow, yeah, or bell, and on. Yeah. It's the name of which Jehovah was worshipped among the Egyptians, apparently. Jabulon is the name. But I ain't looking for that. I'm looking to show you this. Okay, Master, this is it. Master of the second veil. Three most excellent masters you must have been, or thus far you could not have come. But farther you cannot go without my words, sign, and word of exhaustion. My words are Shem, Japhet, and Adoniram. My sign is this, thrusting his hand in his bosom. It is an imitation of one given by God to Moses, when he commanded him to thrust his hand into his bosom, and taking it out became leprous as snow. My word or exhortation, is explanatory of the sign, and is found in the writings of Moses, viz. 4th chapter of Exodus. So the 4th chapter of Exodus in Moses, the 4th chapter of Exodus speaks about when Moses was in the presence of God, and God was giving him signs to prove to him that he was God, which I don't know why God would need to do that. And in one of them, God asked him to put his hand into his tunic, and when he removed it, it was white as snow. I don't know whether the word leprous was there or not, but I know his hand was white. And this is why a lot of people, especially like the Hebrew Israelites, will say to you, well, how can this be? How can a man whose hand is already white turn white? So goes to show you that this Moses character was obviously a guy of high melanation, high pigmentation, aka commonly known as black or ruddy or one of the other terms. You hear me? I'm not going to get caught up in that shit. But yeah, man. So that was from Malcolm C. Duncan, Duncan's Masonic Ritual and Monitor. So you might want to check that book out. Let me check this book out quickly, because I've seen these figures. I've read these figures for years, and I think this. Look, okay, you got. This is actually quite a little good spot we stumbled on. 1900 to present. Man said Big Daddy Kane, but we know this is Kanye West. I don't know. The Hidden Hand. One for Destroyer. More hand symbology. I don't know who these are. Witchcraft, Hand of Glory. Okay, you got Colin Powell doing the same hand, and these man, the husband of Sarah Palin, the witch, who's a self-proclaimed witch. Her witchcraft is known about. Crown Prince Alexander of Yugoslavia doing the same pose. Mikhail Lewandowski gives the hidden hand for the photo. I don't know who he is. Three men were deeply involved in the bloody 1917 communist Russian Revolution. Okay, look, all these hidden hands. I know what this is. This is Skull and Crossbones. My man's doing it. In this photo of the Skull and Crossbones Secret Society, the man at the far left of the photo is seen displaying the hidden hand sign. Exact date of photo unknown. Okay. More hidden hand. Was this Albert Pike? It wasn't. It was Karl Marx. My bad, man. It was Karl Marx doing that hidden hand sign. No end of people doing the signs. You see John Ruskin, Stephen A. Douglas, William Gladstone, who was a Prime Minister of England, Andrew Johnson, 17th President of the United States, Richard Wagner, Freemason and Major in the US Army during the American Civil War. So just to let you know, innit, I'm not going to read out who everyone is, but this seems like a decent page. So go to zaidpub.com. You want to read up on this document and see what you think for yourself. But clearly, a hand sign that means something. They're not doing this for no reason, are they? All right, so that's the hidden hand. Yeah, that's the hidden hand that Duty's was doing. Yeah, yeah. That ain't the only time he's done that. Yeah, check him out here. This is a special one he's trying to drop for the man them. Yeah, he's trying to do Baphomet fingers. Yeah, he's trying to do Baphomet fingers for the man them. Yeah, this is the Kalam Scholar Gang. He must be in Scholar Gang. He must be in the Scholar Gang, definitely. Get me? Boom. And yeah, Prince Harry, man. Prince Harry. Now, rumor has it Prince Harry is not the son of Prince Charles over here, who was married to Princess Diana. Rumor has it that his daddy is James Hewitt, man. James Hewitt. A friend. Not really sure about his background. It's not really that interesting. Whatever, he's one of them, innit? But yeah, the similarities between Harry and this dude are pretty striking, and not so striking between Prince Charles and Prince Harry. So you make up your own mind, because you know what, they could all be clones or whatever, man. So, but as far as him being the son of Prince Charles biologically, I'd say doubtful. You get me? And especially when there's other possibilities just lurking around there, mate. I mean, I'd say that was doubtful, man. Also, Prince Charles, Prince Harry, never forget, Prince Harry, back in the days, somehow pictured yet again, accidentally pictured in a Nazi uniform for a Halloween party or some kind of fancy dress party, and it's like, how do you catch the prince, yeah, of the royal family in any kind of awkward scenario that he doesn't want to be caught in, or that his family doesn't want him to be caught in? The establishment don't want that image out. If the establishment didn't want that image out, it wouldn't get out. Definitely wouldn't be in the fucking sun. Yeah, so this is, yet again, they've been prepping us from time. The guy pictured in a Nazi uniform is now marrying a woman of mixed heritage, and that's supposed to be another little psyop that's supposed to send us round the fucking bend. Meanwhile, he's dancing, yeah? He's dancing with guys dressed up in a Ku Klux Klan outfit, yeah? And this whole blackface, like what Drake was wearing. Blackface. So, I don't know, man. Propaganda. But they got no strangers. They're no strangers. The royal family are no strangers to, like, you know, Nazism. Obviously, the royal family are German bloodline anyway, and they come from Germany, and they're probably related to Hitler anyway. I'm sure they are. Back in the days, you had like this footage of the Queen. This is the Queen here, Queen Elizabeth, throwing up the Nazi Heil Hitler sign. Taught to it by her dad, Edward, King Edward, who was a Nazi sympathiser. He's been pictured with Nazi soldiers and whatnot. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's the royal family. There ain't no beef. What's this? These pictures are historical irrelevance, and who wasn't given mocking salutes in the 1930s? Probably quite a few, but I suspect most didn't meet Hitler for afternoon tea. I suspect that most didn't marry a man, Prince Philip, who had three sisters married that married high-ranking Nazis, including one who was an assistant to Himmler. Okay. Oh, I'll call that had a, because he married Wallace Simpson, who was a Nazi. The reason at the time. The fact she was a divorcee has been shown false via FOI and FBI records. So they're saying that she wasn't. Remember, they say that this king abdicated the throne because he wanted to marry a divorcee, but now they're saying that she wasn't a divorcee and that she was actually a Nazi. So whatever, man. Who cares? But just giving you some background on that shit, man. What we got? What next? Yeah, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are distant cousins. Come on, man. Are you surprised? You surprised, man? I ain't surprised. They're all fucking related, man. I ain't surprised at all. Yeah. Who remembers when Meghan Markle fucking went to Brixton and everyone was gassed. Oh, Meghan Markle's gone to Brixton. Prince Harry's gone to Brixton. And it's like more of this race baiting, this game that they play with people's minds, this black and white checkerboard game, you know, where they just use innocent people as pawns and we like lap it up. Oh yeah, Prince Harry, lap it up. Happy to. I hope he's thinking, fuck Prince Harry. This chick, who is this chick? So yeah, man. So everyone's been wetting their pants in England over it. The wedding this, the wedding that, yada yada yada. These motherfuckers are cousins, you know, related, joint ancestry with Ralph Bowers, the sheriff, the High Sheriff of County Durham, Stretlam. And yeah, man, look. So even if Prince Charles is the daddy of Prince Harry, then you see that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are actually 15th cousins. Yeah, so they're related, and I'm sure there's been a lot more interchanging in between here than you could imagine. Trust me, they keeping with their bloodline. They do things like 15th cousins and that. They keep the same blood, the same type of blood type, but they try to avoid the danger of these disabilities. You know, when close relatives are they procreate, there's a high risk of, you know, deformity, debility, disability and whatnot. But yeah, man, they're not the only ones that are related, because also if you look over here, you see that Kate and William, the older brother and that, are related too, through Diana this time. Yeah, through Diana this time. So like I said, man, they make sure that they keep their bloodline linked at all times, and nobody is marrying into that bloodline or getting into that bloodline that it's not supposed to be. Yeah, I'm sure if I typed in James Hewitt, you would see how he was a cousin anyway. Yeah, and Dodi Al Fayed, you'd see that they were related as well. So don't ever get this shit twisted. And remember, their power is through bloodline. They understand bloodlines, and they're just trying to preserve their shit. And we are kept in the dark about it with fake genetics, fake gene testing and ancestry testing. Nah, they got the real shit. They got their family trees back eons and eons and eons. Eons and eons and eons. Yeah, man. It's the Royal Rascalot family. See them here getting married, black and white checkerboard. We already know what this is about. And the thing just looked like a mad ritual, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. The thing was ugly. Yeah.
And world issues, because they're
Fucking ugly, man. Like, why would you even want to get married somewhere like that? What is that? What is this? What has this got to do with their love for each other? They look really in love, innit? Head over heels in love with each other. What has this got to do with anything? Even if it was just a normal wedding. But man, these lot have to pretend and play their role and act like they're in some kind of relationship, and it just, oh look, okay, man. It's another time he's doing it. Sure, that thumbs up means something as well. Okay, man. I'm on the trail, man. I'm on the trail. Why was George Clooney at the royal wedding? What is his relevance to the royal family? What, because of his role in ER? Or what? What? I don't get it. What? Why was he at the royal wedding? People need to be asking themselves these kind of questions. Yeah? Witches, top witches like Oprah Winfrey. Billionaire witches. Get me? These two brothers. I don't know, man. But yeah, man. That's the royal wedding. It's just a shambles, man. I feel like more than anything, it's just a distraction for the masses. Just a distraction for the people at home. You get me, fam? just a distraction for the people at home to just keep you locked into the bread and circuses while so much fuckery is going on, while you can't even see your sky and your stars. You don't know what's going on. You don't even know where you are. You don't even know what the nature of your home is. And we're just focused microscopically zooming into Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and their wedding and debating about whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether she's a sellout, whether this and that. By the way, she's got the all-seeing eye made out of a diamond on the top of her diamond encrusted fucking sweatband. I've got this dead bandana and she's got diamonds and shit. Meanwhile, we got people all around the world. Remember, they said that wedding was going to be 42 million? People all around the world starving, apparently, and doing without. There's a lack. You know, we're running out of so much things. And then the people that are supposed to be in charge or whatnot, the ones that say that they were ordained by God to rule us. I don't even know why people are having this shit anyway. But they're spending 42 million to get fake married. Apparently, it's just a shambles, man. But yeah, man, I thought I'd just touch that, touch on that subject and just let you know that I think it's a bag of shit. Yeah, man. Alright, let me go on to the next one. Yes, family. I had to take a quick break to get some food in. But I want to go into our next subject, which is Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson. How do I describe Tommy Robinson? I mean, he wasn't really on my radar until a few months ago, when I heard a certain regular attender to Speaker's Corner, Ali Dawa, going on about, I need to speak to Tommy Robinson, I'm following Tommy Robinson. I'm sure I think Ali Dawa was a little agent anyway. Yeah, I was like, what's this guy on about? So I kind of had a little look, and I said, oh, this guy, I've seen him before. Founder of the EDL. Just came to Tommy. Okay, so see, there's loads of stuff on this guy. He's a very popular character, and I'm just going to show you loads of pages and pages and pages on the dude. Cool. Let's get over here. Boom. Tommy Robinson, listed as an activist. Excuse me while I just Halal me, man. Big up to everyone going through Ramadan right now, voluntarily starving yourself for a higher cause, restricting yourself. I wouldn't say starving, actually. I'm chatting shit. I'm just being dumb. But yeah, Ramadan fasting has been proven to have multiple health benefits, mental benefits, and and spiritual benefits. You get me? So big up everyone that's hungry and ain't had a drink all day, mate. I'll fucking feel your pain. And yeah, so Tommy Robinson, the activist. Real name, Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon. What the fuck does Yaxley mean? Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon. Born 27th of November 1982. Known by the pseudonym of Tommy Robinson. And previously by Andrew McMaster and Paul Harris. I'm trying to understand why you've got so many pseudonyms. Why have you got so many pseudonym names? I understand for an artist or someone like that, but somebody that's into activism and politics, socialism, I don't see why you'd need so many pseudonyms. Straight away, I start getting alarm bells. I'm not really sure what's going on or whatever. He co-founded and served as spokesman and leader of the English Defence League, the EDL, okay, from which he resigned in 2013. Now, I don't know what you lot know about or whatever, but the EDL still very much, even though he resigned, because he was worried about their being infiltrated by racists and whatnot. even though he resigned, EDL still actively support him. I saw a couple guys down at the park, at Hyde Park last week with the EDL flag in protest for Tommy Robinson. So, I mean, him resigning doesn't mean that they've cut ties. That's all I'm saying. He also founded, for a short time in 2012, was party vice chairman of the British Freedom Party. Vote for Freedom. British Freedom Party was a short-lived far-right political party in the United Kingdom. The party was registered on the 18th. Was registered. Return. Decommissioned. Alright, well, it's just one of the things that they started, isn't it? EDL. Let me show you about the EDL quickly, because he co-founded the EDL. EDL, English Defence League. English Defence League is a far-right street protest movement which focuses on opposition to what is considered to be a spread of Islamicism and Sharia in the United Kingdom. It describes itself as an anti-fascist and human rights organisation. The ideology is forming the EDL was the belief that the religion of Islam challenges an English Christian way of life. So, I don't give a fuck about an English way of life or Christian way of life. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. But if people feel like they want to defend that way of life, whatever that way of life is, fair play to them, man. I mean, they feel like their way of life is under attack. Only thing I'd ask is, whose way of life has been under attack for hundreds of years due to the hands of the Englishmen? And surely you'd want to see a level playing field, no? I don't know, man. I just don't really buy the thing about the Englishman being a victim and his culture being in threat of being swallowed up by others, because as far as I can see, the English culture, as well as the language and history, is an amalgamation of many different people that have put their inputs into raping and pillaging around the fucking world. Yeah, so I don't really get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's like a bag of thieves worried about a new thief coming in and maybe pinching a few items. It's like, bro, everything you've got is stolen. England is stolen. You know what I'm trying to say? And the original people of this land have long moved on or been swallowed up by the Romans, the Greeks, the Anglo-Saxons, the Normans, all these types of people coming over and mixing and taking over and, invading the Celtic people, the Scots. It's an amalgamation now, isn't it? So for you to scream you want England to be just purely English and Christian, I mean, England has only been Christian for a few hundred years. Before that, it was well known as a pagan country. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure how your Druids of Stonehenge would have felt about that. But anyway, I digress. EDL has been described as Islamophobic. And was until 2013 the most significant counter-jihad movement in Europe. Cool. Alright, that's really... In October 13, the group's co-founders, Tommy Robinson and Kevin Carroll, left the group, with Robinson citing concerns over dangers of far-right extremism. He was replaced as leader by Tim Abbott. Now, to me, that's like a clever business move. Yeah, where they've moved a man on into a different position. That means that he cannot be tainted or too badly tainted with the label of racist or whatever it is you want to call him. I mean, he still stands for what he stands for, but he's like the PR guy, so he's very slick and can't associate himself with certain things. He ain't gonna cut them off in the pub if he sees them. You know what I mean? But like publicly, he can't be seen to be part of it. But it is what it is, man. I'm sure they appreciate it and they know what he's about and they support him anyway. Yeah. So, giving you a little tiny bit of background about Stephen Lennon, aka Tommy Robinson. Tommy named himself after a football hooligan from a firm in Luton called the MIG, Men in Gear. So I'm not really sure why you'd need to name yourself after a football hooligan, unless you was inspired by organised violence. I don't know, man. I don't know. Would I name myself after an MMA fighter if I had no interest in MMA or no interest in violence? No, I personally wouldn't. Why would you rebrand yourself anyway? What are you rebranding yourself for? If you're just an honest John, a working man, why are you rebranding yourself? These are just questions I'm asking. I'm not making any accusations. Just things that go around in my head. I know the EDL and their presence, their energy is one of racism. I didn't realise until recently that they were set up exclusively for the fight against Islam. Because in my mind, I remember a few incidences of EDL members trying to beat up my black mates in South London. So, and they weren't Muslims. So I'm not really sure, but this is what it is. So yeah, recently, Tommy Robinson has been arrested. Apparently, been arrested. He was outside a court case for some Muslim grooming gang, some accused Muslim grooming gang, and he went live. He did a Facebook live. And apparently he was arrested for it, for inciting violence or whatever. So let me show you the BBC news clip about it, because apparently there was a gagging order on it. I should probably show you about the gagging order. Apparently there's been a gagging order placed on the media that has recently been lifted by help of people from Rebel Media, Rebel TV, Rebel Media, whatever it is. Check this out.
Now, it can now be reported that the former leader of the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, also known as Stephen Christopher Yaxley Lennon, has been jailed for 13 months for contempt of court. Let's go to our correspondent, Danny Savage, who's in Leeds for us. And Danny, what's this all about? What did he do?
Simon, this goes back to Friday here in Leeds when Tommy Robinson was doing a Facebook Live outside Leeds Crown Court about an ongoing case at that court last week, and he was arrested by police officers. He was then brought before a judge and jailed for contempt of court. Now, the issue is that Tommy Robinson was already on a suspended jail term for carrying out a very similar offence outside Canterbury Crown Court last year, and at that point he was also prosecuted for contempt of court. He was given a jail sentence of a few months, but that sentence was suspended for 18 months. And one of the key things when you get given a suspended jail sentence is that you certainly shouldn't repeat the offence that you have received that sentence for, which is what Tommy Robinson did outside Leeds Crown Court on Friday. So he was sent to jail straight away on...
So, seems to me that if you've been arrested for doing something and you're on a suspended sentence, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying, cause fuck the police, innit? Fuck the police, fuck the judge, fuck the court system, fuck them all, fuck the BBC. That being said, if you've been arrested and you've got stipulations over you, like you've got a suspended sentence for a certain offence, you're not really going to go back to a similar scenario and commit the same offence in their eyes, even though I don't think whatever he did was an offence, no matter what. But if you go and repeat that, you must be prepared for the fact that, Raj, you know what, I could get nicked again. So I feel like in my head, you must have known that this would have led to an arrest. He didn't look that shocked anyway, to be fair.
But because of the ongoing trial at Leeds Crown Court, there was a reporting restriction placed on the fact that he'd been sent back to prison because of the ongoing court restrictions. So that couldn't be reported. That restriction has been lifted today. So now we can say that Tommy Robinson, who's often held up as a figurehead of the far right, has been sent to prison for 13 months. We understand that he's in a prison somewhere in Yorkshire. And this is something that's led to lots of protestations and comments on social media over the weekend, while it's appeared that the media have not been reporting it. And the reason the media has not been reporting it is there was a restriction and an order placed on Friday that we couldn't do so. That restriction now been sent to prison for 13 months.
Danny,
13
is in
months.
contempt of court. Now, it's whether a judge will actually then go for people on social media for talking about it in public and saying and making comment about that. I suspect that's unlikely, but this is the sort of place where we are nowadays.
So anyway, sent to jail. They say. Let's hear actually what happened. Let's hear.
Almost 10,000 people. This is the verdict. So the trial's ended, the jury are making their mind up, and this is the verdict. This is the verdict today. So I can see someone. Yeah, mate, yeah. Yeah. You doing right?
What's going on here?
Yeah, 29 of them on trial. It's 2 women for grooming 11-year-olds. Well, allegedly.
ADL thing.
No. Just doing this. Just doing a media, mate. Just trying to show people who are watching. This is what's happening.
Yeah, let
This
you
is
know
what
I'm
the
filming,
patients-
bro.
This is how many girls were victims.
I'm
This is
filming.
what I've said, and this is what I've
I'm
done.
not part of the EDL. Nah.
No, no. Oh, they do it in prison. I know. You've been in there.
Just got out.
You just got out. What was it like?
Shit.
Are you going to arrest me?
Michael is going to explain what's going to happen next, right?
Am I being arrested? I am being arrested. I've caused a breach of peace. I'm being arrested.
The content of what you're
Can we just say
streaming.
The content of what I'm streaming, I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor?
Can you just turn off
Yes.
your live feed?
Can you get me a solicitor?
Turn off your live feed, please.
Yeah?
Do you understand what I've just said?
No, can you explain it again?
Following the breach of the peace.
What does that mean? 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 The content of what I'm streaming.
So yeah, man, they nicked him
The information I
and put him in. I don't know, put him in this van. And I don't know, man. I don't really know what to think about it. I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Yeah, apparently it was illegal to be covering the trial that he was outside of. There were some kind of restrictions placed on it, and he was live streaming, talking about the same trial that there was restrictions placed on it. Plus, he already had a suspended sentence with this thing over his head. People are screaming that it's a fucking liberty, and it's Big Brother, and it's Orwellian this and Orwellian that. And I'd say this Orwellian talk is big talk, yeah, but it don't seem to be applied when normal, everyday people are falling victim of Big Brother and censorship. It's when somebody like Tommy Robinson, who's now a public figure, who's clearly making a bit of money, he's got the support of a lot of people. He's basically a politician. He's been involved with some dodgy groups, the BNP, who had links with like Nick Griffin, who was part of the National Front. He's been in the EDL, Britain First, and now he's the people that follow him seem to be some very racist people. Some of them are very racist. Some of them are just proud lovers of their country or their way of being and whatnot. So I'm not going to cast the same. I'm not gonna paint them all with the same brush or whatever. But from what I've seen, there's quite a few racists that feel comfortable in that group, and I'd have to ask why. I'm not going to accuse Tommy Robinson of being a racist because I think he's far too intelligent for that, far too smart for that. And the most I see is a seasoned Mason. I see a seasoned Freemason who is playing his role in a part to agitate the people, keep them divided, and so that they can be conquered. I don't know whether he knows of this or not. I don't know whether he's willingly part of the agenda or not. But for me, I can see the bigger picture, the bird's eye view. And if he's not, then he's a puppet and he's being used. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're angry at these grooming gangs, and I do get that. But if you are disgusted by paedophilia, pedophilia, if you are disgusted by pedophilia, surely you should be looking into people like the BBC. Surely you should be looking into the aristocracy and the elites. Surely you should be looking into the politicians. Surely there's massive paedophile rings involved with the Catholic Church and priests. You know, you've got members of social services involved. Go over to Guernsey. Go over to Guernsey and chat to the guys over Guernsey about what's going on with the what do you call them schools there? Not boarding schools. You know, the children's homes and that they've got over there. Like there's a lot. If you want to tackle paedophilia, if you want to tackle child grooming, if you want to tackle nonces, then there's a much bigger group than just these Muslims that you're going after. And I'm not saying it ain't happening. But from what I've heard, it is happening with not just Muslims, but with Sikhs. I could throw a couple Yardis under the bus that like G.A.N.G, a couple African uncles that like G.A.N.G. You get me? But far in the majority are white Englishmen who, under the cover, under the guise, under the cloak of being white Englishmen, get away with murder. And I feel like if you are true and your people are true in terms of their disgust of pedophilia, then I would suggest that you go for much bigger targets and you'd get a much better effect, and you get more support from the British public in general. But you know, 'tis what it is, man. What we got here? Okay, so there was a protest, a Free Tommy protest. Commander was pissed Tommy was in pen. Free Tommy.
I guess.
So let's watch a little bit of this, man. I would have got clapped. I would have jumped that fence before I got to say guided. It would have been. Gotta love these white guys, man. This is 10 Downing Street. No fear. They're looking to climb it. Fucking hell. See how the people could rush down the street. UKIP flags there. Our man is climbing the gates of fucking of Downing Street, bro. What? Fucking hell. I've never seen this shit. Do you think my man got arrested? I'm gonna write them a new jingle though. What the fuck was that? Having up the fence. Having up the fence. Nah, man. No one that listens to the fence. Cops of the ops! These don't get it. On it. So this is the type of crowd that comes out for Tommy. I don't know, man. Mixed feelings. You're a cunt. And look who they got in the back. Officer Abdul. They just had to bring out the fucking big man mountain guy. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. He tried to bring Hodo out. Is that the guy that went to fight? What's his name? Mohammed Hijab.
I don't want to demonstrate the police are exceptional. Okay? So let me sit there.
Please don't touch me.
All free and independent human beings that have their own human rights.
Yep.
Freedom of speech is part of that.
You're breaking the law by doing it. You've been given the opportunity to protest on that side of the road.
Nah, man. Can't tell man where to protest. Officer Chin looks like he's about to do some mad jiu-jitsu on anyone that tries the thing. Shut up, man. Trust me. Them helicopter chopters, yeah? Helicopters. Fuck. But yeah, man, I got some of this footage from Swillism, full of Swillism. It's alright, man. Whatever. It's alright, man. I like his style of vlogging. Get me? Who else got some? Oh my god. This is another thing, yeah? When you're dealing with man like Tommy Robinson and you're getting supported by people like Alex Jones, it makes me question, man. Makes me question. Not gonna lie to you. 'Cause Alex Jones is a top shill. Yeah, top shill. Alex Jones. AKA, I forgot the name of that comedian that he really is. He's like a comedian that disappeared, or that chap they said died. But he's like the spitting image of the same dude. Some comedian dude, I can't remember. Let me see if I can find you actually. That's a side note. Yeah, Bill Hicks. Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. I believe that 100%. Or one of his clones or something. Anyway, he got some dude on to talk about the state of affairs and that. Sure. Let's hear what he's got to say, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. And you very accurately described what's been going on in this country in the last few days. We've seen news articles completely wiped out. I've spoken to journalists who are really, really keen for information, who have then later said, sorry, we had to pull the whole story. We can't talk about any of this. And it's very, 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 very worrying. There were even journalists, I mean, there's lots of technicalities about what I can and can't talk about. I was in the courtroom when all of this happened. Obviously, there's a reporting restriction. But, you know, when the judge even said that there's a reporting restriction, they closed the books. They wouldn't report on it after that. And it's a very, very, very bizarre situation. Usually, reporting restrictions like this are only placed in very, very extreme cases, very, very high-profile cases. And there's not really any reasoning for them to do this in this particular scenario, other than
he's an agent.
They've done something wrong. Thank God that you guys are reporting it. Thank God InfoWars is making a deal out of it, and I think Fox News have just spoken about it. And that information is going to the UK. Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people have been rioting and protesting about this now. They've all been talking about it in the streets, and that information is getting to the general public, despite their attempts to stop it. Hopefully the ball would...
Rings that he had first exposed and been put in prison for. They give him a sentence for that. Then he's given 13 months commuted. He simply goes and covers they're having a trial. Nothing about the details of the trial, just that there is a trial. That's totally normal under jurisprudence, English common law, Magna Carta, Bill of Rights, Constitution, and your own law. Everybody knows that. They take him to jail for that, and then they order everyone not to talk about it, period, and denotice hundreds of publications. Because the general public, whether you're liberal, conservative, black, white, whatever, you're against pedophilia, even the average Muslim, but you've got this strand of Islam that does it, a sex traffic going on, blacks being sold in cages in Libya. Oh.
We should be talking about the Talmud. We should be talking about the Talmud and the rabbis that bite off, that do, what do you call it, circumcisions with their teeth, biting off foreskins of kids. Talk about the kids that have got herpes from this practice, and we should be talking about the words in the Talmud that say it's legal to fuck a gal to fuck a gal child, a boy child, you know, we should be getting into that because, and then after that we deal with the Roman Catholicism and their massive cover-ups of pedophilia, sex trafficking, and like I will ride with you if you're being honest and being real. But if you're just trying to single out one set of people, like a bad trait about one set of people to make all the people look bad, or to cast dispersions on someone's religion, and you're not going to be fair about your own religion or other people's religions, holy books, practices, or whatnot, then it seems to me that this is definitely hate motivated. It's motivated to kind of paint certain people in a bad light. Because to be honest, if we're really going to talk about sex trafficking and pedophilia and grooming, then we got to look at the biggest culprits, which happen to be the Caucasian men, and that's just the truth. Like, let's not get me. I even feel bad for saying it, because it's like I'm not trying to say that all white men are involved in that. Far from it. There's a small minority, yeah, but that minority is large enough to be weighed against the minority of those doing it in the Islamic world or in Judaism, in the fake Jews. But yeah, man, I'm just skim through him. I really can't stand this.
And now we're finding out it's there. And as you said, they find it.
They're so out of touch, they don't quite realise that it's not going to work. In 2007, at the beginning of the EDL, when Tommy was starting out, they used to use these very tactics. They used to silence him, they used to throw him in jail, and no one knew about it. There wasn't the internet, or that wasn't already public.
Okay, anyway, that was that. Let me give you another view now, a balanced view.
An English culture activist is reportedly jailed in the UK after reporting on a trial involving a Muslim grooming gang. OAN political correspondent Neil W. McCabe has that report.
Yes, that's right. The US and England are two countries with very similar traditions. But this situation raises questions about whether England is throwing those traditions away. English culture activist Tommy Robinson was arrested. He's a co-founder of the English Defence League, and he was arrested May 25th outside the Leeds Crown Court. Robinson was charged with breaching the peace and incitement roughly 1 hour into his Facebook live streaming outside the trial of members of a Muslim gang accused of grooming children.
I've been arrested for breach of peace. I've been arrested for breach of peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor? Can you just turn up the light? Can you get me
a shirt or a... Now, I got another question for you. I noticed you're wearing a shirt or a button that says "I'm a Zionist." What does a Zionist mean to you? What is a Zionist?
Well, a Zionist is someone who believes in a homeland for Jewish people.
I believe. My definition, when I've looked at that in the dictionary, is Israel first.
It means Israel first.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I believe in Israel's right to exist. I believe in their right to defend themselves. I believe that the Jews have been persecuted, and when I talk.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Let's talk about fake news. Let's talk about Tommy Robinson, a self-proclaimed Zionist, supporter of Israel. Another one of these guys that has been dumped on us by what is known as the alt-right. Now, I've been warning everybody about the alt-right from the beginning. From plants all over the place, from InfoWars to Mike Cernovich to Milo, these guys that they're rolling out to represent us, supposedly. And there's way too many people in this movement that buy into these alt-right characters. These people are here to give you a taste of real truth and lead you astray and keep you trapped in the left-right paradigm.
See that?
Things to play on your emotions because they know, especially when they, channels like mine, who I constantly am talking about this and exposing it, but I'm exposing the occult. I'm exposing that, this isn't about a couple of perverts or, trafficking kids around and then the kids are being shopped around and then they're doing, child labor. This is about Satanism. This is about the rituals and satanic ritual abuse that these kids are put through, which
it's a spiritual war we're dealing with, family tree. Tell him, man. Trust me.
Cannibalism. This is the stuff that they won't let get out there. That they won't let get out. These kids and cannibalism. This is the stuff that they to him when he didn't even do anything to be. He wasn't helping expose anything. He's still playing you in this whole Israel Muslim nonsense garbage. Okay. Now take a look at this guy. Like I said, openly admitting to being a Zionist. And you, McMaster, Fox does exist, but they're leading you astray. It should be, people need to be warned about stuff like that. Not about.
Let me show you. Let me break down Zionism to you, yeah, or whatever, if I can, yeah. Zionism. This is Wikipedia, yeah. Zionism is a national movement of the Jewish people that supports the re-establishment of a Jewish homeland in the territory defined as the historic land of Israel, roughly corresponding to Canaan, the Holy Land, or the region of Palestine. Yeah, so this is where people are already living. Yeah, I don't know how many of you don't know roughly. Basically, Winston Churchill helped the Rothschilds establish the state of Israel in exchange for the Rothschilds getting the United States to join the war, and help them in the war, to become allies with them. So that was the bargain chip. I think it was called Operation Paperclip. I hope I've got that one right. If it's not, I fucked up. But basically, Winston Churchill was the one that signed it. There's documents there that you can go and see the agreement. There's letters there that are on record that you can see the agreement. So basically, these people from like Poland and these Jewish people from Poland and Germany and whatnot went over into the quote-unquote Middle East or Africa and basically tried to kick some people that were already there out. They tried to kick the Palestinian Arabs off the land and take it over. And this is what the war is about. And I don't know, man. It's a sticky affair, but yeah, Zionism is the national movement of the Jewish people. Okay? Here's Tommy Robinson, Stephen Lennon. Here's Stephen Lennon, or Paul. Oh, he's got so many names. Stephen Lennon, yeah. On top of a tank holding a machine gun in Israel, near the Syrian border. So he got a tour of the Jewish state since landing on Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. And okay, so look, he's here at the border. And he's loving it, man. He's loving it. He's loving it with the Jews in Israel. And yeah, man, he's a proud Zionist. And he acts like he doesn't know what the actual meaning of Zionism is. But I'm sure he does. And just to drive it home, just to show you how some of the Israeli soldiers have been pictured treating the Palestinian people. It's not a great look. It's not a great look. Not to pick a side in a war, but I'd have to say that what I've seen coming from Israel in terms of Palestine, not a fucking good look, man. Not a good look. So free Palestine, innit? Free Palestine. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm not saying it's a totally one-sided war, but I've seen many images of youngsters with like stones facing tanks. It doesn't look like militarily they're on the same level. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Don't seem to have the same budget. Getting bust up by police. Look. Well, what's the excuse for this? Yeah. Shit is fucked, man. So, I mean, you're concerned about children in one place and then children in another place you don't seem that bothered about. Grooming gangs is all good. But if the people you're supporting are doing this to children, subjecting children to daily fear and abuse. Look, this child's wet himself. I just wonder if there's ever any need to grab a child this small while you're a soldier in full gear, armed, by the throat. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not looking that good. That's what I would say. It's not looking that good. But yeah, man. What else have we got here? Nothing. That's that. So that was just really about Tommy Robinson. He's been arrested. Apparently, they say he's in jail. Allegedly, I don't really believe it. They say he's in. Sorry, let me just pause this. Yeah, they say he's in jail in H&P Hull in Yorkshire, and I don't know if there's anybody that can prove to me that this brother is in H&P Hull. I'd rate it, and that still doesn't mean that he's not part of the system or not part of the game. It just means that he's willing to sit down and do a couple months in the name of wherever they're taking him to, man. But this is an interesting story and one that I'm keeping my eyes on. And I think I'm going to move on to my next subject. Yeah? I'm going to stop this one and start it again.